Ladies and gentlemen, before anyone can truly give or receive love in its purest form, there has to be an unshakable foundation of self-worth. Too often people enter relationships without fully realizing who they are or what they deserve, and that lack of awareness leads them to accept less than what love should be. Knowing your worth is not arrogance, nor is it about demanding perfection from another person. It is about understanding that your heart, your emotions, and your life are too valuable to be mistreated or overlooked. When you deeply believe that you are worthy of love that is kind, respectful, and nurturing, you will never tolerate a relationship that brings you pain more than peace. Many individuals confuse the idea of knowing their worth with being too picky or too demanding. But the truth is, it is not selfish to want loyalty, honesty, or commitment. It is the bare minimum of what love should be. If someone tells you that you are asking for too much simply because you expect to be respected, valued, and cherished, then it means they are offering you too little. Love is not about lowering your standards just to keep someone by your side. It is about holding onto your standards so that the right person who truly values you can step in. When you know your worth, you no longer chase people who fail to see your light. Instead, you attract those who respect and honor it. A person who knows their worth does not allow loneliness to trick them into settling. They understand that being alone does not mean being unloved. In fact, it often means you are protecting yourself from people who cannot meet you where you deserve to be. The fear of being alone is one of the main reasons people settle for less. But once you truly accept your own value, you will never choose temporary company over lasting respect. Loneliness might feel uncomfortable for a while, but a relationship that makes you feel unseen, unheard, and unimportant is far more damaging to the soul. When you stand firm in your worth, you begin to see that being single is not a curse. It is a season of growth, healing, and preparation for the love you truly deserve. Knowing your worth also shapes the boundaries you set in relationships. Boundaries are not walls to push people away, but guides to show others how you expect to be treated. When you value yourself, you will not allow constant disrespect, dishonesty, or neglect. You will not keep forgiving actions that continue to hurt you. Instead, you will have the strength to walk away from anything that compromises your peace and dignity. And the beautiful truth is, the right person will never be offended by your boundaries. They will respect and honor them, because real love thrives in mutual respect, not in overstepping each other's limits. One of the most powerful shifts that happens when you embrace your worth is that you stop seeking validation from others. You no longer depend on someone else's love or approval to feel complete, because you already know your value. This does not mean you do not desire companionship. It simply means you will not sacrifice your identity, your dreams, or your happiness just to keep someone close. When you know your worth, you understand that love should complement your life, not control it. You stop begging for affection and instead choose to walk with confidence, knowing that the right love will never require you to beg. It is important to understand that real love begins with self-love. The way you treat yourself sets the tone for how others will treat you. If you constantly doubt your own value, tolerate disrespect, and silence your needs, you send the message that it is acceptable for others to treat you the same way. But when you treat yourself with kindness, respect, and care, you naturally attract those who will mirror that energy. Self-love does not mean you think you are flawless. It means you accept yourself as you are while also recognizing that you deserve to be loved wholeheartedly. You cannot pour love into others if your own cup is empty, and knowing your worth ensures that your cup remains full. Another important aspect of knowing your worth is understanding that your past does not define your value. Many people settle for less because they carry scars from previous relationships or mistakes they made. They begin to believe that they do not deserve better, that they must accept whatever comes their way because of what they have been through. But your past is not a measure of your worth. It is simply a part of your journey. Every heartbreak, every disappointment, and every lesson was shaping you into someone stronger, wiser, and more prepared to receive the love you truly deserve. When you rise above your past and embrace your present value, you free yourself from the cycle of settling. When you know your worth, you stop confusing attachment with love. There is a big difference between someone who is merely attached to you and someone who truly loves you. Attachment often comes from convenience, comfort, or fear of loss, while love comes from genuine care, commitment, and respect. If you do not recognize your worth, you may mistake attachment for love and remain stuck in relationships that only bring you pain. But when you truly value yourself, you see clearly that love is more than just someone staying. It is about how they stay, how they care, and how they grow with you. The beauty of embracing your worth is that it creates space for real love to flourish. When you stop settling, when you stop lowering your standards, and when you stop chasing what is not meant for you, you open the door for something greater. You begin to attract partners who see your value, respect your heart, and match your energy. You no longer have to fight for crumbs of affection, because you know you deserve the whole meal of genuine love. The right person will not be intimidated by your worth. They will celebrate it, because they themselves understand their own value as well. Together, you create a relationship built on mutual respect, trust, and love. At the end of the day, knowing your worth is not about pride, ego, or perfection. It is about self-respect. It is about refusing to let fear, insecurity, or loneliness push you into relationships that do not honor your soul. It is about standing tall in the truth that you deserve a love that is consistent, kind, and true. When you know your worth, you do not just wait for love. You prepare yourself to recognize and embrace it when it arrives, and when it does, you will know that you never had to settle because the love you were waiting for was always worth it. Love, in its purest and most authentic form, should bring light into your life, not darkness. It should be a source of strength, encouragement, and comfort, not a constant struggle that leaves you feeling exhausted, insecure, or unworthy. Too often, people mistake pain, inconsistency, or emotional chaos for passion, when in reality, love was never meant to be a battlefield where your peace is sacrificed. Real love should uplift you, make you grow, and inspire you to become a better version of yourself, while also making your journey through life more meaningful and fulfilling. When two people come together in love, it should feel like a partnership where both lift each other higher. Imagine a relationship where every day you are reminded of your potential, where your dreams are supported, and where your happiness is a priority to your partner just as much as their own. That is what true love does. It amplifies your strengths and comforts you in your weaknesses. A healthy love energizes you. It gives you courage to face challenges because you know you are not facing them alone. On the other hand, love that drains you makes you doubt yourself constantly, leaves you feeling as though you are walking on eggshells, and makes you believe that your needs are too much to ask for. That is not love, that is emotional survival, and no one deserves to live like that. Real love is not supposed to drain you emotionally, mentally, or physically. If you find yourself constantly sacrificing your joy, your peace of mind, and even your sense of identity just to hold on to someone, you are not in love. You are in a situation that is diminishing your spirit. Love should not feel like a weight that you carry alone. Instead, it should feel like a hand reaching out to help you carry life's burdens. When you are constantly drained by a relationship, it becomes nearly impossible to grow because you spend all your energy trying to hold on to something that is pulling you down rather than lifting you up. Love should also bring security, not fear. It should never leave you guessing where you stand or doubting whether you are truly cared for. A draining relationship is one where you are constantly worried about being abandoned, betrayed, or unloved because the connection is unstable and inconsistent. But uplifting love is steady. It reassures you not just with words, but with consistent action. You should feel safe in the presence of love, safe enough to be your authentic self without fear of judgment or rejection. That safety creates the freedom to grow, to explore your dreams, and to share your vulnerabilities without hesitation. One of the clearest signs that love uplifts rather than drains is how you feel about yourself in the relationship. Do you feel confident, valued, and appreciated? Or do you feel small, unworthy, and invisible? Love is not meant to make you lose yourself. It is meant to help you discover more of yourself. A partner who truly loves you will encourage you to chase your goals, to nurture your talents, and to believe in your potential. They will never ask you to dim your light so theirs can shine brighter. Instead, they will stand with you, celebrating your successes and supporting you through your struggles, knowing that when you both rise, the relationship grows stronger. Draining love often disguises itself as sacrifice. Many people convince themselves that giving endlessly without receiving anything in return is a sign of true love, but love is not meant to be one-sided. While compromise and effort are essential in any relationship, both partners should feel nourished by the love they share. If one person is constantly pouring while the other only takes, eventually the giver becomes empty. Uplifting love, however, is reciprocal. Both partners invest in each other's well-being, creating a balance where giving and receiving are natural, not forced. Love that uplifts feels like a cycle of kindness, respect, and appreciation that keeps both hearts full. When love is uplifting, it also brings joy into the simplest moments. It is not always about grand gestures, but about the little things. The smile that brightens your day, the comfort of a listening ear, the encouragement to keep going when you want to give up. It is about laughter shared over nothing, the comfort of silence that feels peaceful instead of heavy, and the presence of someone who makes life feel less overwhelming. That joy is what keeps love alive, even in difficult times. In contrast, a draining relationship steals your joy, replacing it with constant arguments, misunderstandings, or feelings of being undervalued. It leaves you feeling like love is a burden rather than a blessing. Another important truth is that uplifting love respects individuality. It understands that two people can share a deep bond while still honoring each other's independence. A relationship that uplifts will not trap you or limit you. It will encourage your personal growth. You should feel free to be yourself, pursue your passions, and develop as an individual while also nurturing the relationship. Draining love, on the other hand, is possessive, controlling, or suffocating. It demands that you give up parts of yourself just to keep the peace, but true love never asks you to shrink. It allows you to expand while staying connected. Love that uplifts also heals. It does not mean that your partner will fix all your problems, but it means they will walk with you through them, offering patience and understanding. Uplifting love helps you overcome the scars of your past and reminds you that you are worthy of better days ahead. It gives you the space to be vulnerable, to cry when you need to, and to find strength in knowing that someone believes in you. A draining relationship, however, deepens your wounds instead of helping them heal. It uses your vulnerabilities against you, leaving you more broken than before. That is not the kind of love anyone should ever settle for. At its core, love should inspire you. It should make you want to grow, to become better, and to give more because the connection fuels you, not because you feel forced to. When love uplifts, it does not just transform the relationship, it transforms you as a person. It teaches patience, compassion, kindness, and strength. It pushes you to dream bigger and believe in possibilities you may have never considered. That kind of love is rare, but it is real, and it is worth waiting for. So if you ever find yourself in a situation where love feels more like a burden than a blessing, ask yourself this: is this relationship building me up, or is it tearing me down? Am I growing, or am I shrinking? Do I feel more alive, or am I constantly drained? These questions are important because they reveal the truth about whether the love you have is uplifting or depleting. Choosing to walk away from draining love may be difficult, but it is an act of self-respect that opens the door to the love you deserve. The truth is, love was never meant to be heavy chains that hold you back. It was meant to be wings that help you rise higher. Love should not make you lose your light, it should make you shine brighter. When you hold on to this truth, you will never again settle for a relationship that drains you. Instead, you will wait for the one that uplifts you, supports you, and reminds you every single day that love is supposed to feel like freedom, not captivity, like peace, not chaos, and like strength, not weakness. Love is not something that should live only in words, it must be alive in actions. Words are beautiful, and they can inspire hope, comfort, and reassurance, but words without action are empty promises. Anyone can say "I love you," but not everyone will show it through consistency, loyalty, patience, and care. What makes love genuine is not the frequency of romantic phrases spoken, but the reliability of love demonstrated in everyday choices. When someone truly loves you, their actions will match their words, and you will never be left wondering if they mean what they say. Too many people fall into the trap of believing words alone. They cling to repeated promises that are never fulfilled, they wait for change that never comes, and they excuse harmful behavior because of the occasional sweet phrase that makes them feel hopeful again. But love is not meant to be a cycle of disappointment covered with apologies. Real love is consistent. It does not show up only when convenient or disappear when tested. When someone's actions continually contradict their words, you must pay attention. Love that is real does not need constant excuses. It proves itself through effort. Actions reveal priorities. If someone says you are important to them, you should see it in the way they treat you, the time they give you, and the respect they show for your feelings. If they claim they care about you, but repeatedly disregard your boundaries, ignore your needs, or make choices that hurt you, then their words lose all meaning. Love is not about speaking the right phrases. It is about choosing, day after day, to honor the person you care about. Real commitment is not proven in promises of forever, but in showing up in the present with consistency and reliability. When love is true, it is visible in the little things. It shows up in listening when you need to talk, in remembering the details that matter to you, and in putting in effort even when it is not convenient. Someone who truly loves you will not just say, "I support you," but will stand by your side when you are chasing your dreams or struggling through setbacks. They will not just say, "I respect you," but will treat your opinions, feelings, and boundaries as valuable. They will not just say, "I will never hurt you," but will actively make choices that protect your trust. It is the daily consistency of actions that proves love far more than grand gestures or occasional declarations. A person's actions also reveal how deeply they are committed to your happiness. True love is not selfish. It does not only focus on personal comfort, but seeks to bring joy and peace to both people in the relationship. This does not mean perfection. Everyone makes mistakes, but real love takes responsibility and corrects those mistakes. If someone apologizes but keeps repeating the same behavior, their words become meaningless. But if they apologize and then make a conscious effort to change, their love becomes evident through growth. Love is about accountability, and actions are the proof of that accountability. It is important to remember that actions do not always have to be grand to be meaningful. Simple, consistent gestures often speak the loudest. Checking on you when you are tired, supporting your goals even if they do not personally benefit them, being honest even when it is difficult, and standing with you in hard times are the kinds of actions that reflect true love. Words can be spoken by anyone, but actions require effort, intention, and sacrifice. They demand a choice, and love that is real will always choose to act in ways that nurture and protect the bond. Another truth about love and actions is that they reveal whether someone is genuinely invested in building a future with you or merely offering temporary affection. When someone sees you as a true partner, they will include you in their decisions, value your perspective, and work toward a shared vision of the future. They will not just say, "We'll be together forever," but will make daily choices that build trust, stability, and growth. Love that is only verbal tends to live in vague promises, but love that is shown in action creates real foundations that can withstand time and challenges. Actions also show respect. If someone tells you they love you but lies to you, disrespects you, or treats you as an option rather than a priority, then their words are nothing but illusions. Respect is the backbone of love, and it can only be demonstrated through behavior. A loving partner will not just say they are faithful, they will actually be faithful. They will not just say you are special, they will treat you like you are irreplaceable. They will not just say they are committed, they will prove it by being present, supportive, and trustworthy. True love also shows itself in consistency, not in temporary intensity. Some people are excellent at making grand gestures at the beginning of a relationship, showering you with attention and words that make you feel like the center of the universe. But as time goes on, their effort fades, their consistency disappears, and their words become hollow. Real love is not about how passionately someone speaks at the beginning. It is about how steadily they act over time. Actions that are constant, even in small ways, carry far more meaning than dramatic words that are not backed up by behavior. This is why it is so important not to let words blind you to the truth of actions. If someone says they love you, but their behavior constantly leaves you feeling neglected, disrespected, or unsure, then you must trust the reality of their actions more than the comfort of their words. Love should not make you question whether you are valued. It should make it undeniably clear through consistent effort. Choosing to believe actions over words is not being harsh. It is protecting your heart from illusions that only delay the truth. When you finally experience love that is genuine, you will notice that words and actions align. What is said and what is done will mirror each other, creating a sense of peace and security. You will not be left guessing or questioning whether someone truly cares, because their actions will continuously remind you that they do. That kind of love gives you freedom. It frees you from doubt, from insecurity, and from the constant need for reassurance. It allows you to trust fully, knowing that what you are told is real because it is reflected in reality. At the heart of it all, love is a verb. It is not static. It is not just a feeling spoken aloud. It is lived every day in the choices you make, the sacrifices you are willing to embrace, and the consistency with which you show up for someone you care about. Love is demonstrated in loyalty, in patience, in kindness, and in responsibility. And when you find someone whose words and actions are one, you have found a love that is real, a love that will last, and a love that will never require you to doubt whether you are truly valued. One of the greatest reasons people settle for less in love is the fear of being alone. Loneliness can feel heavy, and society often amplifies that weight by telling us that we are incomplete unless we have a partner. From movies, culture, and even family expectations, we are constantly fed the idea that being single is a problem to be fixed. Because of this, many people enter or remain in relationships that do not serve them, simply because they are afraid of facing life on their own. But the truth is, being alone is not a curse. In fact, it can be one of the most liberating, empowering, and transformative experiences of your life when embraced with the right perspective. Being alone does not mean being unloved. It does not mean you are unworthy of connection or incapable of attracting the right partner. It simply means you are in a space of preparation and growth, a season designed to strengthen your sense of self and give you clarity about what you truly want. The fear of solitude often blinds people to this opportunity, leading them to accept half-hearted love or relationships built on convenience instead of genuine connection. But when you let go of the fear of being alone, you begin to see that solitude is not emptiness. It is the soil where self-love, self-awareness, and self-respect grow. The fear of being alone often makes people tolerate what they should walk away from. They stay in relationships where they feel unseen, unheard, or undervalued, convincing themselves that some love is better than no love at all. Yet, every time you settle for less, you teach yourself that your needs do not matter, that your heart is not worth protecting, and that your happiness can be sacrificed for the sake of companionship. This belief erodes your self-worth and leaves you trapped in situations that rob you of peace. The courage to embrace being alone, however, allows you to break free from this cycle. It helps you see that your life does not have to be defined by who stands beside you, but by the strength and joy you carry within yourself. There is a profound beauty in solitude because it gives you the chance to know yourself deeply. When you are not consumed by the noise of an unhealthy relationship, you have the space to reflect on your desires, your dreams, and your values. You learn what truly makes you happy, what boundaries you need to set, and what kind of love aligns with your soul. Many people skip this vital process and rush into relationships out of fear, only to find themselves repeating the same painful patterns again and again. But if you use your time alone wisely, you transform solitude into a season of self-discovery, and that self-discovery ensures that you will never again settle for a love that diminishes you. Being alone also gives you the opportunity to build independence. A healthy relationship is not about two incomplete people depending entirely on each other for happiness, but about two whole individuals coming together to share their fullness. When you learn to enjoy your own company, to find peace in your own presence, and to create joy in your life without depending on someone else, you become stronger and more resilient. You no longer cling to relationships out of desperation, but choose them from a place of wholeness. Independence does not mean rejecting love. It means ensuring that when love arrives, it complements your life rather than defining it. Another powerful truth is that being alone protects you from the wrong kind of love. Too often, fear makes people accept toxic behavior just to avoid loneliness. They stay with partners who are unfaithful, disrespectful, or emotionally unavailable because they believe that enduring such pain is better than facing solitude. But being alone spares you from heartbreak that comes from being undervalued. It gives you the clarity to recognize red flags, the strength to walk away from harmful patterns, and the patience to wait for a love that is genuine. Every time you choose solitude over settling, you are not losing. You are saving your heart for something far better. It is also important to realize that being alone gives you time to build the life you want outside of love. Relationships are important, but they are not the entirety of life. There is beauty in friendships, passions, careers, dreams, and personal growth. When you are single, you have the freedom to explore, to take risks, to travel, to create, and to invest in yourself without compromise. You learn to build a fulfilling life that is not dependent on a partner, which means that when the right love does arrive, it becomes an addition to your joy, not the source of it. A person who fears being alone often makes love their only identity, but someone who embraces solitude understands that love is a part of life, not the whole of it. The fear of loneliness is often rooted in the belief that no one will ever love us if we let go of the wrong relationship. But this is a lie that fear tells to keep you trapped. The truth is, when you settle for less, you block the path for the right love to find you. You cannot open your heart to someone who truly values you if it is already occupied by someone who doesn't. By choosing to embrace solitude instead of clinging to half love, you make space for something real. You send a message to the universe and to yourself that you will not accept anything less than what you deserve, and in doing so, you invite the kind of love that is consistent, patient, and true. Being alone also teaches you patience. It reminds you that good things take time and that rushing into love out of fear often leads to regret. Patience does not mean passively waiting. It means actively living, growing, and preparing yourself for when the right person enters your life. It means trusting that your worth does not diminish because you are single, and that true love cannot be forced or fabricated. When you stop fearing solitude, you begin to trust timing. You begin to believe that the right love will come when it is meant to, and until then, your own company is enough. Ultimately, the fear of being alone is an illusion, because you are never truly alone. You have yourself, your dreams, your passions, and the people who genuinely care for you outside of romance. You have the chance to cultivate peace, to enjoy freedom, and to grow stronger. When you shift your perspective, being alone becomes less about what you lack and more about what you are building. And the love that eventually arrives will be worth it, because it will not be chosen out of fear, but embraced out of freedom and self-respect. So, never let the fear of loneliness push you into a relationship that costs your happiness or peace. Being alone may feel uncomfortable at first, but it is far less painful than staying in a love that drains you, disrespects you, or diminishes your worth. When you learn to enjoy your own company, you discover that solitude is not emptiness. It is strength, it is freedom, and it is preparation for the love you truly deserve. And when that love arrives, you will know it is real because you did not settle for less out of fear. You waited for more out of faith.